Are you a woman in your 30s or 40s thinking of leaving, quitting your job, or changing careers? If so, you're in good company because in the United States, 3 million people make the decision to voluntarily leave their jobs every month. Every month, 3 million people are saying, sayonara, adios, I'm out of here, kick rocks, whatever your favorite expression is, but they're quitting, right? And many of those people are mid career women, just like you and just like me, who are making the decision to go to a place that's either less toxic than where they are now, or with all the bad things that we know work against the best interests of a lot of women. But it's also true that there are people leaving because they're doing it for themselves and who they are. My name is Alisia. I'm a career coach and I help women transition to careers that are fulfilling for them. Now, in this discussion, we're going to cover people who quit their jobs, where they go, and the importance of fulfillment. And I promise you something that will help you as you navigate this yourself. Now, if you are actually actively looking to quit, please type yes in the comments. If you are actively looking to quit, you're sure 100%, perhaps you're already interviewing or starting your own business, put yes in the comments. And if you're not quite sure, if you're on the fence, put maybe in the comments. Okay? So I want to share with you a story of somebody who did make the decision to do a 180 in their career. This is a person who had been performing really well in their job. They enjoyed what they did and they were really good at what they did until recently. Because recently they seemed quite disengaged in their work. Their work product wasn't that great. And their manager came to me. I was the head of HR. Their manager came to me to discuss it. And I decided I wanted to have a conversation with them myself to see where things were at. And it was clear to me that this is a person who wasn't feeling great about their work. They wanted to do a better job. They weren't able to pull it out of themselves to do a better job. And it's not because they didn't want to. And it's not because they didn't need the job, because they did. There was something else going on. And so we spoke, and we spoke about a lot of things, right? They were a person, right? So what's going on in your life? What's happening that's challenging, but also what's happening that's positive? And when it came to that part of the conversation, they were really clear about saying, well, I am doing some volunteer work with this organization that deals with children. And I really do like that. And I thought that was fantastic. And I was happy that they comfortable feeling vulnerable enough to share that with me. Now, about 4 weeks later, they come to my office again, but this time holding a piece of paper, which was their letter of resignation. And they were really happy as they were telling me that they were going to be leaving us. And I said, oh, that's fantastic. I'm glad you have a great opportunity. I hope it is. And they told me that they were moving to a job where they would be working with children. And they were just beaming as they told me that. And I was beaming back because it was clear that that was the right decision for them. And I was proud of them and I applauded them for having the courage to make a decision like that, to having the strength to do it in an environment where the people around you aren't always supportive of it. And perhaps you're even doubting yourself, but somehow feeling to your core after thinking about it and thinking about your history, thinking about where you want to be and what you want to do with your life, to actually actively make a change that will materially change your life, now that's something. That's something that I applaud. And I think it's something that everyone should entertain. If you know of someone in your life who has done that, who has made a change that was perhaps very shocking, that was very different than what they had done before, new career, totally different type of a job, press like. Just tap like if you know somebody like that, a family member, a friend, a colleague, or maybe even you. Okay, tap like if that is you. Now, look, we all know that we're going through challenging times economically. Okay, and there are going to be moments that where that's true, and there are going to be moments when that's not true. But I do want to share with you some recent information about people who have left their jobs voluntarily. Not talking about layoffs, voluntarily. I'm an economist, by the way, so you're going to hear me talk numbers a little bit some of the time. But anyway, interesting numbers. So there was an analysis done of tons of data from LinkedIn and other public sources about people who started new jobs. Here's an interesting number. 40% of the people who started new jobs in a given month moved to jobs that were in a completely different job category than they left. These are people who voluntarily decided to leave their jobs and take a job in a different job category. They changed their careers, right? 40%. Another interesting number, and even more dramatic, 70% of people who started new jobs in a given month changed industries, to a completely different industry. Now, it is possible that amongst these people, there are women who perhaps are leaving toxic situations where they're set up to fail, situations where they are facing discrimination, all of the really negative and bad things that people can and should leave. But I'm talking about the people who left and ended up in different careers, in different types of jobs, in different industries. Those are people who are highly likely to have been drawn to something versus being repelled by something, right? And we should all have a sense of agency, even if we are fleeing a bad situation. As we consider where we want to go, we should be thinking about who we are and what's going to make sense for us as individuals so that we get what we need and we can feel fulfilled. So the big question for you is, are you willing to settle for less than what truly fulfills you in your work? Are you willing to settle for less, or are you willing to do the braver thing, the more introspective thing, the thing that is reflective of you putting yourself first and honoring what you are and what you need? Think about that. And now is the perfect time to think about that. Well, I told you before that I'd give you a tool to support you in this. And the tool is a quiz, the Career Fulfillment Quiz. It takes about 5 minutes to do, okay? But it's a tool, a self-assessment tool. So it's what you say, how you answer the questions about yourself in your situation, in your job, with your current employer. It is a measure of career fulfillment. And it takes in consideration some factors that perhaps you're not sufficiently weighting or giving attention to as you're thinking about whether or not you should stay or go in terms of your situation. So you might find that it validates what you already think, like, oh, I know I've got to go, or yes, this is awesome. Or maybe it's a little bit contrary. Like, why do I think I'm fulfilled when I'm coming up negative in so many areas? Am I putting up with something, right? It's a tool that will help you be more thoughtful as you think about making one of the biggest decisions of your life, because our work is where most of us spend most of our time. We only have one life to live. We might as well be spending that time doing something that creates satisfaction for us, that creates a sense of meaning for us, that enables us to use our key strengths and experiences in really cool ways that are interesting to us so that we can look back and be proud about what we've done. We all deserve that. Okay? Now, if you're somebody who really is looking to make this career transition, you'll want to know the number one secret to making a successful career transition. And to find that out, you can watch the video above.